Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Thanks, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपाय कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे, हर हराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय गोविंदाय नमः। श्री कृष्ण हरि बोल गोपाल हरि बोल राधा रमण गोविंद हरि बोल। जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Welcome you all to the Dashavatara class, and today is our last two avatars, that is Buddha and Kalki avatara. From next week onwards we'll be reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers. Okay. Jayadeva Goswami in his Gita Govinda has sung as follows: the Lord has saved the Vedas in the form of a fish, that is the fish incarnation, what we have learned in a previous class. And he has borne the whole universe on his back in the form of a tortoise, that is a Kurma avatara. And he picked up the earthly planet from the water in the form of a boat, that is which avatara?
Varaha Avatar Mataji.
Yeah, he killed a Hiranyakashipu in the form of Narsimha avatara. Yeah, he cheated Bali Maharajas in the form of Vamana avatara. Vamana means what?
A small Brahmin boy.
Yes. He has annihilated all the dynasties of Kshatriyas in the form of a Parashurama avatara. So what is the name of that king? Anybody remember? Kartavirya Arjuna. Yeah. And he has killed all the demons in the form of Lord Rama. So what is the name of the demon?
Ravan.
Ravana.
Yeah. He accepted the great blow in the form of Balarama and annihilated all the ascetic form in the form of Kalki. That we'll come to know in the next PPT. And he saved all the poor animals in the form of Lord Buddha. Okay. Ahimsa is the major thing which he has propagated in this avatara. These are some of the descriptions of the incarnations emanating from Krishna and from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is understood that innumerable incarnations are always coming out from the body of Krishna, just like waves in an ocean. No one can even count how many waves there are. And similarly, no one can count how many incarnations are coming from the Lord's body. Okay. So, a lot of Vedic scriptures, including Srimad Bhagavatam, has a reference where it refers it's an incarnation of Lord Krishna. And apart from Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been referred in Harivamsa, Garuda Purana, and Vishnu Purana. So, what does Nectar of Devotion says? Yes, any devotee volunteer, please read it.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Nectar of Devotion. Lord Buddha is accepted as an incarnation of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But in the same Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Lord Buddha appeared in order to bewilder the aesthetic class of men. Therefore, his philosophy is meant for bewildering the aesthetics and not to be accepted. Nectar of Devotion.
Yeah. This is again a different philosophy, but in as per Srimad Bhagavatam, he's been accepted, like it has been Lord Buddha has been accepted as an incarnation of Lord Krishna, but here the ideology is totally different. Okay, tata kalau sampravritte sammohana shuradvisham buddho namanjana sutaha kikat Kikateshu Bhavishyati. So in the beginning of Kali Yuga, Lord will be appearing as Lord Buddha. And you know where Buddha was born? Son of Anjana in the province of Gaya. Where is Gaya located?
Allahabad. Close to Allahabad.
Which state, Mataji?
Madhya Pradesh.
Bodh Gaya, I think it is in Bihar,
Both.
no?
Is it?
Yes. Just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful.
Please.
All those things, it comes in Bihar only, no, Mataji?
Yes.
So when the atheist, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of the different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles. So when will this, who is Lord Buddha? Actually, anybody have any idea like who was he and how he transformed to Lord Buddha?
He was son of a king, Mataji. Then for self-realization, I think he went under a tree and meditated for a long time.
He was totally a protected son, isn't it? He was not exposed to the external world and all.
Even he was not like, shown a dead body also.
Yes, yes.
Because
He was,
they thought that he would be frightened. He had never seen the outside world.
yeah, he was overprotected child, but
Yes.
once he came and saw everything around him and which has really moved him, especially what has moved him the most?
The misery of the world, Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji, you were telling something?
He was
So to diminish the burden on the earth, the unborn Lord will take birth in the Yadu dynasty and perform feats impossible even for the demigods, which we have seen in a Krishnavatara, isn't it? Propounding speculative philosophy, the Lord as Buddha will bewilder the unworthy performance of Vedic sacrifices as the Kalki. The Lord will kill all the low class men posing as the rulers at the end of the Kali. So the killing of the animal, ahimsa, the himsa, violence, he could not tolerate that. So most of his propaganda were against the violence. So in Harivamsha, it is been stated like the future Avatara, Buddha will appear first. Then there will be a famous Avatara called Kalki, which will also be known as the Vishnu Shaya. The Lord will appear. Lord Vishnu will appear as a Brahmana in Shamal village for the welfare of the universe. Okay. So as per the references from Garuda Purana, Brahma Moksha Kanda, chapter 15. Yeah. So Kalo Sampravrite Harishtu Sammo Hanantam Chashuranam Khagendra. So name of the Buddhas, Veda Pamanam Nirakartavo Met. So in this age of Kali, the Lord was born in the Kikatas as Buddha. He deluded the Asuras and flouted the Vedas. Okay. Yeah. So 10 incarnations of the Lord, that is Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Sri Rama, Parashurama, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki shall remember always. So major transformation, if you see in India, Buddhism is very limited, but if you go to the China and the rest of the Oriental continent, the countries and all, so you'll have a lot of this Buddhist followers and doing. So the main principles is to bring the peace within, and they follow the principles of non-violence. Little bit different from what actually we follow, but the principles are same. So as per the Vishnu Purana, Book 3, Chapter 18, Parasara, who is father of Vyasadeva, he says, in this manner explaining to them, no, Buddhyadvam, and then replying it is known as Buddhyati. These Daityas were induced by the arch deceiver to deviate from the religious deities and become Buddhas. By repeated arguments and various argued persuasions, when they abandoned their own faith, they persuaded others to do the same. And hearsay spread any deserted practice enjoyed by the Vedas and the laws. So these principles, what they follow, a little bit different, as I told, from like how we follow in the Krishna consciousness. But one main principle is the non-violence and certain practices, the yogic practices, which try to bring down the man peace within. Okay. Only unless we read the books specific to that, we will not have a complete knowledge about it. So this is the limited knowledge what I know and I have shared you. Now we'll move on to the next Avatara, that is a Kalki Avatara. So anybody has any idea about this? Hare Krishna.
Kalki will destroy the adharmic people, Mataji.
Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will diminish day by day because of the powerful influence in the age of Kali. Now we are all in the age of Kali Yuga. So Kali will be the ruling person, and he see that everything is destroyed, and he get that pleasure out of all these sinful reactions committed by the mankind. So wherever there are sinful reactions happening, Kali Purusha will be there, and he'll get that immense pleasure. So the choice is ours whether to choose the path of Krishna consciousness or to indulge in the sinful activities and give pleasure to Krishna. So pleasure to Krishna or pleasure to Kali. So the choice is ours. So in Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered as a sign of man's good birth, proper behavior and fine qualities, as the law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. So this we are seeing, isn't it? Now we say, if somebody asks us, like, who is the famous personality in India? Yes, somebody?
Who has lot of money?
If I say any 5 personalities from India, please tell me.
Mahatma Gandhi ji, Modi ji, Nehru, and
No, people are living.
Tata.
Tata, Ambani.
Mhm. So here the wealth is a major deciding factor, isn't it? Activities, of course, but wealth is the first part which has been taken into consideration, isn't it? And man will be known as a Brahmana just by wearing a thread. So do you see the true Brahmanas nowadays?
No, Mataji.
Yeah. So finally, belly will become the goal of life. I think this all of us are experiencing also, because lot of food junctions, we are insensitive towards the farmer who is providing food towards us. But we don't even think of a second to click onto that app to deliver the food to our doorstep, isn't it? So we are indulged in pleasing our senses, our mouth, the tongue, and our belly, isn't it? He who maintains a family will be regarded as an expert man, because our intelligence towards Vasudhaiva Kutumbam and maintaining a good relationship is coming down, and it becomes very difficult to maintain the family. So as principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. This we are already seeing. Nobody is doing the service to the poor. As the earth thus becomes crowded with a corrupt population, whoever among any of the social class shows himself to the strongest will gain the political power. This we are also seeing. And losing their wives and property to such avaricious and merciless rulers will who will behave no better than ordinary thieves. The citizen will flee to the mountains and forests. So it is not at all a living situation. Okay. If somebody can volunteer to read this.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Harassed by
Krishna.
famine and excessive taxes, people will resort to eating leaves, roots, flesh, wild honey, fruits, flowers, and seeds. Struck by drought, they will become completely ruined. The citizens will suffer greatly from cold, wind, heat, rain, and snow. They will be further tormented by quarrels, hunger, thirst, disease, and several anxiety. The maximum duration of life for human beings in Kali Yuga will become 50 years. Hare Krishna.
Anything excess, now we are having a food excess now. Next coming days we'll go into the deficit. Okay. By the time the age of Kali and the bodies of all creatures will be greatly reduced in size, the religious principles of followers of Varnashrama will be ruined, and the path of Vedas will be completely forgotten in the human society. The so-called religion will be mostly atheists, and kings will be mostly thieves. The occupational men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence. All social class will be reduced to lower levels of Sudras. Cows will be like goats, and spiritual hermitages will no different from the mundane houses. Okay. So family ties will extend no further than immediate bonds of a marriage. And many, I think this is already in place. The nuclear families are on the rise. We are neglecting the parents and all. The most plants and herb will be tiny, and all trees appears like a dwarf Sami trees. Clouds will be full of lightning, and all human beings will behave like a asses. So this is the future. So at that time, Supreme Personality of the Godhead will appear on the earth, acting with the power of pure goodness, spiritual goodness. He will rescue the eternal religion. So as per Bhagavad Gita, whenever there is rise in religion and adharma, Krishna will appear again in the form of one of the avatars and restores everything, and he will go back. So similarly, when all these things are on the rise, Krishna will take a form of a Kalki avatara, and he will restore the dharma. Okay. So Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the spiritual master of all living and non-moving living things, and the supreme soul of all, takes birth to protect the principles of religion and to relieve the saintly devotees from the reactions of the material world. So thereafter, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there exists no topics on the subject of the God, so people will become mostly irreligious. So most of our ISKCON lectures, if you follow, somebody will say, like, after 10,000 years, there will not be any religion. So no ISKCON, nothing and all. Because everything will get reduced. So even at the residence of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of three higher castes, and the power of government is transferred to the hands of minister elected from a low-born Shudras, and who are less than them. And when nothing is known of the technique of sacrifice, even by word at the time, Lord will appear as a supreme. So we degrade to so much lower level that Lord has to come to restore the Varnashrama Dharma. So the symptoms of the worst conditions of the material world, the last stage of this age is called as a Kali Yuga. So now we are in the beginning of Kali Yuga. When it comes to the end, these are the severe atrocities we will see. So we'll go to a state of a godlessness. Lord Kalki will appear in the home of most eminent Brahmana of Sambala village, the great soul of a Vishnu Yasa. Okay. So where again is this Sambala village? Somewhere near West Bengal, I think. Lord Kalki, the Lord of Universe, will mount his fifth horse Devadatta and sword in hand, travel over the earth, exhibiting his 8 mystic opulences and 8 special qualities of the Godhead. So displaying his unequaled effulgence and riding with a great speed, he will kill the millions of those thieves who dare to dress as a king. So these verses describe the thrilling pastimes of Lord Kalki. You can see the beautiful Narayana form who appeared in the form of a Kalki will slain all the kings who are adharmika. So after all the impostor king have been killed, the residents of city and towns will feel the breezes carrying the most sacred fragrance of sandalwood paste and other decorations of Lord Vasudeva, and their minds will there becomes transcendentally pure. So can you say some examples from our Puranas where there is a rise in irreligion and Lord has taken a form? 5 examples. Hare Krishna.
To kill Ravana, Ram came, Mataji.
Another example? 4 more.
Lord Buddha came to protect all the animals by non-violence.
No, killing the demon. Restoring the dharma.
Narsimha Dev took avatar to kill Hiranyaksha.
Okay. 3 more.
Lord Krishna came to kill Shishupal.
Okay. Krishna has many examples. Yes, please tell Mataji. There is no limit now.
Krishna kills Kamsa, Mata.
Okay, main is to kill Kamsa. So in between he will kill so many demons. So can somebody remember who are all those people?
Keshi demon.
Mm-hmm. Tenukasura, Pralambasura. Isn't it?
Yes, Mata.
Yeah. So many people he will just kill. So apart from Lord Krishna, any other example? Ramavatara, Krishnavatara, and Narsimhavatara finished. Next.
Vara avatar to kill Hiranyaksha.
Hiranyaksha. Okay. Then
Parshurama also came when for the Kshatriyas.
To kill Kartavirya Arjuna, Mataji.
yes. So Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, appears in his heart in the transcendental form of goodness. The remaining citizens will abundantly repopulate the earth. So whenever there is rising in religion, see Lord Vasudeva and Devaki will pray for Lord. You know, there's so many. Kansa was doing so many atrocities against the population, and they prayed him, why don't you come as our son, so that you can put an end to this demon Kamsa. Okay. So when the Supreme Lord has appeared on his earth as a Kalki, the maintainer of religion, Satya Yuga will again begin. The Kali Yuga will come to end, and again the Satya Yuga will. So what is the difference between Satya Yuga and Kali Yuga? Can anybody say?
In Satyuga, there is more piety, all are dharmic, and in Kali Yuga, all are sinful.
Dharma will be in 4 legs, isn't it? So how do you differentiate Satya, Dwapara, Treta, and Kali Yuga? How do you say? What is
Narsimhadev appears in Satyuga, Kali Yuga, Kalki Avatar appears.
No, what is the difference between Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga? Based on Dharma and number of years. In Satya Yuga, Dharma will be on the 4 legs. Dwapara again 2, Treta 3, and Kali Yuga on only single leg. Okay, and numbers was also Satya Yuga will be more years, followed by Treta, followed with Dwapara, then comes the Kali Yuga. Okay, so when the Satya Yuga begins, the human society will be bring forth the progeny in the mode of a goodness. Okay, so how to identify the incarnation? Somebody can volunteer to read this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. How to identify an incarnation? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, as in other ages, incarnation is accepted according to the directions of the Shastras. In this age of Kali, an incarnation of God should be accepted in the way CC Madhya 20.352. An actual incarnation of God never says, I am God or I am an incarnation of God. The great sage Vyasadeva, knowing all, has already recorded the characteristics of the avatars in the Shastras. CC Madhya 20.354. The Lord does not have a material body, yet he descends among human beings in his transcendental body as an incarnation. Therefore, it is very difficult for us to understand who is an incarnation. Only by his extraordinary powers and uncommon activities, which are impossible for embodied living entities, can one partially understand the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.34. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So how do I identify that Lord Krishna is a God?
He did many uncommon activities like lifting the Govardhana hill.
So killing the demons and all. Okay, there are many activities, innumerable. The pastimes of Krishna, it is more in number. The Rasa Leelas, all those things. It is not possible for any ordinary individual to do all those. Okay. Nivasanidhane kalayasi karavalam Dhumaketumiv kimmapi karalam Keshavadrita kalki sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare. So one of the avatara is Kalki Avatara. Here we are offering a prayers to Kalki Avatara in this particular shloka. O Keshava, O Lord of Universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a Kalki, all glories to you. We appear like a comet and carrying the terrifying sword for bringing about the annihilation of the wicked barbarian men at the end of the Kali Yuga. So this is how he comes and he put an end to all the barbaric activities which is happening in this end of the Kali Yuga. So, what is the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga? We have to
Chant the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, shall we start with the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers? One prayer, at least we can do it for today. Possible?
Yes, Mataji.
Till we have a time.
Yes, Mataji.
Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare. Savatara Kamala Hare, Nityam Dalitam Kashipu Dhammadrindam. Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare. So we'll start with the first prayer, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadasya Yato Nyayati Taratas Chartasve Abhijanasvara Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Mukhyati Yatsudaya Tejo Varimridham Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrusa Namna Svena Sadha Nirashta Kuhakam Satyam Paraham Dhimahi. Somebody can start reading the synonym and the translation and purport. Okay, I'll start. Oh my Lord, Namaha, offering my obeisances, Bhagavate, onto the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, that is onto the Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, or to the Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord. Janmadahi, that is the creation, sustenance, and the destruction. Okay. Asyaha, of the manifested universes. Yataha, from whom. Anyavat, Anvayat, that is directly. Itarata, or indirectly. Cha, and Artheshu, purposes. Abhignaha, that is fully cognizant. Svarata, fully independent. Tene, imparted. Brahma, the Vedic knowledge. Hridaha, the consciousness of the heart. Yaha, for one. Adi Kavaye, unto the original created being. Mukhyati, our illusion. Yat, about whom. And Surayaha, great sages and the demigod. Tejaha, fire. Vari, water. Nridam, earth. Yata, as much. Vinimaya, action and reaction. Yatraha, whereupon. Trisarga, three modes of creation, creative faculties. Amrisa, almost factual. Damna, along with the transcendental paraphernalia. Shvena, self-sufficiency. Sada, always. Nirasta, negation by absence. Kuhakam, illusion. Satyam, truth. Param, actual. Dhimahi, I meditate upon. So can somebody please volunteer to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation. O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, subsistence, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge onto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. as one is bewildered by the illusionary representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental adopt, which is forever free from the illusionary representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, first of all, offering the obeisances on to the Lord Krishna, who is absolute truth and he is the cause of all causes. He is the creator, sustainer, and the annihilator of the universe and all the mankind. Okay, and he is the one who has imparted the heart of the Vedic knowledge to Brahmaji, the original living being who has first taken birth. And from him, he has imparted this knowledge. Brahma has imparted this knowledge to the great sages and the demigods. And like that, it has come. So, so one is bewildered by the illusionary representation of water seen in the fire or land seen on the water. Only because of him, this material universe which is there, temporarily manifested by the reactions of three modes of material, that is Sattva, Raja, and Tamoguna. Okay, and therefore, so everything, whatever the real and unreal which we see, everything is his creation. So therefore, I meditate upon him. That is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternal, existing in a transcendental form, and he is free from all the illusionary representations of the material world. So I meditate upon him, for he being the absolute truth. So I'll just take only the translation because purports are a bit lengthy. Can read the translations when you are free. Okay. Now we'll take on to the prayers by Arjuna. Can somebody please volunteer to read from 22 to 25? Yes. Hare Krishna. Any other devotee volunteer? Hare Krishna. Yes, ma, please start reading.
May I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. 22nd to 25.
I'll read, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, O my Lord Shri Krishna, you are the almighty personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only. Text 23. You are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creations and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Text 24. And yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the four principles of liberation characterized by religion and so on for the ultimate good of the conditioned souls. Text 25. Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially. Mataji, just scroll. Need to scroll, Mataji. Yes.
Especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are
Yes.
constantly
Um,
meditating.
and to benefit your friend, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are constantly um, wrapped in meditation upon you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
On 22 to 25, Mataji, in this particular this thing.
Yes.
So, Lord Arjuna is saying to Lord Krishna, like, oh, Almighty person, God Krishna, there is no limit to your different energies. So, both superior energies and inferior energies of the Lord are within him only. And he can instill that fearlessness in the heart of his devotees. So, which is the first and foremost characters of a pure devotee, that is fearlessness. Only he can instill that. So everyone in the flame of material miseries can find the liberation in you only. So unless we do any other thing in the material world, we don't feel that relieving, liberation and all those things. Unless we surrender unto the Lord and engage ourselves in the service of Lord Krishna, it is next to impossible to move away from the clutches of the Maya. So he is the original personality of the Godhead who expanded himself in the creations and transcendental to material energy. So whatever the effects of material energy have, he just removed it with a dint of his spiritual potency, and he is always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. So at the same time, he executes the 4 principles of liberation, characterized by religion and so forth, for so on, for the ultimate good of the conditioned soul. So he descends as an incarnation in any of the avatars, like how we have discussed in our previous Dashavatara class, and to remove the burden on the world, burden of the world, and benefit our mankind, especially those who are exclusive devotees, and constantly rapidly meditating upon you. So can you say some examples from Mahabharata, where Lord Krishna has benefited them? Hare Krishna. He saved Draupadi, isn't it? He was of a constant support to Kunti Maharani. Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji. And he was also a great friend of Arjuna.
Yeah. And whom did he save? At the end, the last legal hire, who was that? He is always protective towards his devotees. So one other example.
Is it Bhishma, Mataji?
Yeah. So gave a boon to Bhishma to leave the material body upon his wish. And he protected Parikshit Maharaj, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So there are so many things. He is very protective about his devotees. At the same time, he will punish the people who are wrong towards his devotees. Okay, we will move on to the next prayer. We finished prayers by Vyasadeva and prayers by Arjuna. Now we'll move on to prayers by Kunti Maharani. Okay, so somebody can please start reading from text 18 onwards.
I'll read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
18, no?
18 to 43.
Yes, right. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisance unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Text 19. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Text 20. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental spectaculars who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Text 21. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devki, the boy of Nanda, uh, yes, and the other cowherds, men of Vrindavana, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Text 22. My respectful obeisance are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garland of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Text 23. O Rishikesha, master of the senses and lord of lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious king Kamsa, and me and my children from a series of constant dangers. Text 24. My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poisoned cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwasthama. Text 25. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Text 26. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with a respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Text 27. My obeisance are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle, and bodily beauty cannot approach you with sincere.
No,
No,
most
no, sorry.
gentle.
You are the
You're
most gentle and master of the
monist.
monist. Text 28. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller without beginning and end, the all pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. Text 29. O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and so are misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. Text 30. Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that though you are inactive, and that you take birth, though you are vital force and unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Text 31. My dear Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed offense, and your perturbed eyes overflowed, flooded with tears, which washed the mascara from your eyes, and you were afraid, though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. Text 32. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. Text 33. Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn, yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. Text 34. Others say that the world being overburdened like a boat at sea is much aggrieved, and that Brahma, who is your son, prayed for you, and so you have appeared to diminish the trouble. Text 35. And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of regenerating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned souls suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Text 36. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. 36 is over, Mataji.
43.
Yes. Then, O Krishna, 37 now.
Yeah.
O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all kings are at enmity with us. Text 38. As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fames and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. Text 39. O Gadadhara Krishna, that is Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful, but when you leave, it will no longer be so. Text 40. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because of the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the ocean full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Text 41. O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please, therefore, sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the uh,
Rishi.
Rishis. Text
Rishis.
42. O Lord of Madhu, as as Ganges flows, forever flows, Ganga forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. Text 43. O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief amongst the descendants of Rashni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distresses of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the perceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisance.
Hare
43.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna is all inclusive and everything comes from him. He is born as a son to Devaki Vasudeva. He'll come to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya's home. And he carries out various pastimes, killing of various demons. And when Lord is there, everything is in abundance. And this conversation happens, when Krishna will say, like, Kunti Maharani, just give me permission to go back to Dwaraka. Now that I have completed all my tasks, you got your kingdom back and your kids are with you. Everything is been settled down. So if you permit me, I wanted to go to Dwaraka. So then Kunti Maharani is offering prayers to Krishna, saying all those things. So if you are there, means we are automatically relieved from the cycle of birth and death. But if you are going away from us, that means something. I'm not very happy to hear that. Why don't you give me a few more difficulties and stay with me? So like that she says, and whatever it is, Lord will come here whenever there is rise in the religion, and here he has come to kill Kamsa and few other demons as we have discussed, and to restore the dharma. Now that when the work has been completed, whether somebody is willing or not, the devotees, Krishna has to go back. Okay, so next week we will start with the Bhishma prayers. Please remind me and remember. Okay, fine. Any other doubts?
Mataji, how did Kunti Maharani knew that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead?
You know the energies, you know, of being in a good person, and that too with the Lord. Whatever the difficulty she has faced in her life, it is any ordinary person cannot elevate from that distressful situations. Only Krishna could do that. And after the what do you say, the Mahabharata war, and everybody is annihilated, and Lord Krishna killed many people. After that, after so many pastimes of Krishna she has experienced, and she being a great devotee, when she has experienced herself for her and her son and Draupadi, so definitely they will come to the realization will come.
Is this prayers offered after the Mahabharata Yudh, Mataji?
Srimad Bhagavatam is after the Mahabharata war.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. There are no more questions. We'll end the session for today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, participants, for your active participation. See you all next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Hare Krishna.